Hello makers and welcome back to Spectiva Studios. It's good to have you here. You know, being an artist is fantastic in so many ways that we can go and create realities. And being able to use different materials and different methodologies to get there is really part of the fun of it for me. Now, there have been times that I've looked at other art and I think, well, you kind of got into a groove there. And a lot of artists, you can recognize their work very readily because they do find a sameness, right? There's an opportunity they found their way toward the thing that really is the essence of their art. But I think for a lot of starting artists, this idea that how am I going to know what my groove is until I try a whole bunch of different things is so important to play around with. And one of the things I love about being an artist in general is just experimenting, just saying, I have a thought. What happens if I try this? What will the outcome be? So today I want to wander down one of those paths and play around with something I think will be kind of interesting for us to explore together. I'm going to be working with India ink. Now, I love working with India ink for a number of reasons. First of all, bright colors, a variety of colors, but also when it dries, it is steadfast. It stays there, it is waterproof, and it's pretty powerful stuff. Now, it's the kind of thing you also don't want to get on your clothing because it will stay there forever and ever and ever. But the beautiful thing about working with some of these, there are lots and lots of different colors that we have to choose from, and I'll, again, put all the information in the description below. So if you want to find any of these, you can do just that. But I love working with these, just these different inks. And one of the things that's very handy about these is they come with their own eyedropper installed in some of these, if you get the 1 ounce jars. And here's what I want to be able to do today. I have myself a piece of just small piece of watercolor paper. And what's this? It's a can of compressed air. That's right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some ink on this paper and I'm going to blow it around. And let's see what the results are. This is kind of a fun thing to do. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to grab some purple here. Let's get a little purple in my eyedropper here. I'm going to just, again, not too much ink is needed. I'm going to put a drop there, and a drop there. Let's put one there, let's put one there, and we'll do 5 drops, all right? Now, those are all sitting there looking nice and pretty, but that's gonna change. Now, one of the things I will mention about working with compressed air, if you invert the can, it actually comes out as a frozen stream. So if you want, you can end up freezing your ink. And you know what they say about frozen ink, what they call it? They call it iced ink. That's right. Anyway, so I want to keep it upright as much as possible. Now, I would also encourage you, if you're working in an environment where you don't want to make a mess and possibly blow ink over things, maybe you put a cordon around here, put it in a short cardboard box or something like that. Now, I'm going to be very gentle here, but what I want to do is I want to blow on these different dots of ink that I put down. And just kind of drive them down the page a little bit. There we go, and that one is nice. Maybe come in at a slightly different angle. And you know what, maybe I'll just go crazy on this one, go this way. Now, once I've kind of flattened them out or created a stream, now I can hit them sideways, and watch what happens when we do this. And again, you know, how much air and pressure you put into this is really up to you. But there's a lot of movement, surprisingly, in a single drop of ink. And that's kind of fun, isn't it? So that's a purple color. Let's drop some red in here. And again, we'll try to see what happens when we start blending things together. Now, again, you can also wait in between colors if you don't want to possibly chance that the colors will blend, if that's not the objective. Because I'm going to come in here with some red. Put some right there, and maybe right there. And again, if the purple is still wet, it may end up mixing with it, but that also may be part of what I'm trying to accomplish. Let's make that one go that way. And again, let's stretch it out. Once again, keep your can upright unless you want to freeze things. So a little more motion on the purple in there. Purple and the red are blended together over here. Yeah. Anyway, kind of fun little spiderwebby sort of thing. Let's see. I'm going to get some teal into there. And again, like anything else that's been hanging around your studio for a long time without being touched, you want to give a little bit of shake to mix it up here. I don't use the inks every day. Here we go. These are fun. And once again, no rhyme or reason here. I'm going to simply just give it a little bit of motion, direction ahead. That is such a fun thing. It's like a fireworks display that suddenly emerges from the paper. All right, let's, I think some yellow and green. Again, I'm picking a palette kind of at random of just, you know, our standard colors. What you work on may be more thematically based. But we'll get something in here. There we go. And I'm going to start from the edge here. Again, as you start from the edge, it's easier to blow toward the middle than it is to blow to the edge because you'll go off. There we go. We just made some green along the way. We may not need to add a lot of green if we're making our own. There we go. Let me spin this guy around. I'm going to head toward the middle with the yellow dot. And then I'm going to just let's get some sideways action here. Oh my goodness. A fun explosion happening. I'm getting some interesting color mixing in here as well now. That can is getting cold in my hand too, so the more you use it, it's going to happen. Oh, there we go. I like some of those things that are coming up. All right, I'm not sure how much green we need. I'll put in a dot or two here. Maybe I don't need to have a full 5. And again, I'll have kind of a green color starting down this end here. I'll do that one there. It's a bubble. It's, don't be fooled into thinking that's ink. That's a bubble of ink. Very different. All right, and once again, let's come and get some green. Let's just spread it out a bit. Now, one of the things I will mention also with your compressed air can, I don't know if you've ever dealt with this before, but as you use it and it gets cold, it actually gets less pressure. So you might need to wait a little bit and just let it kind of warm up a little bit before it works the way you want it to. And there we go. All right. Now, again, this is an experiment. That could be just a total mess. You may be looking at that and saying, what the heck happened here? Clean up on aisle 5. Or you might say, actually, there's something in here that I can really use. And the reason I want to share these tips and tricks with you, again, is how you might use this. You might say, I've already painted something, and I want to create a different layer, a different effect, or a different texture to put on top of it. And this might be the kind of solution that really works for you. So there we are. Offered up for your consideration. Anyway, that's all I have for you this week. Again, I always enjoy sharing these tips with you, and I hope you enjoy them as well. And if you do, we'd love to be able to share more with you. We drop a video every single week, and yeah, feel free to hit that subscribe button, and we'll add you to our growing family. Anyway, I'm Spider. Thanks again for joining me. I'll see you next time.